Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Today, the professor and one of the heads of the most successful gaming companies in the world. And he's got the rundown.
According to Dr. William Eadington, Nevada's casinos are not doing too well. Yet when asked in all the pollsters, you said, let casinos pay the taxes. What happens if we burden them with more taxes? Dr. Eadington is here to tell us. And Phil Satre, chairman of Harrah's Entertainment, is going to tell us about the effect of taxes on northern Nevada. Sam?
Thanks, Andy. And on the pundit panel today, Jim Denton, political analyst, Howard Rosenberg, UNR professor, and on the barbed wire, it's Barbano. It's all coming up on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Today's lesson, another reason to take the Gold Rush Club Card Challenge. With the Gold Rush Card, you really have 3 cards in one. Use your cash back. You still keep your comps and drawing tickets. Use your comps. You still keep your cash and drawing tickets. And with your drawing tickets, you could win thousands in cold hard cash every week. And still keep your cash back and comps. Does your club add up? Graduate to the Gold Rush Players Club. It's the smart thing to do. The Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
Folks, you must see what's new in Virginia City. Ride the V&T train all the way to Gold Hill. Explore a mine, if you dare. Visit Piper's Opera House. Watch the gunslingers shoot it up on C Street. Shop in unique stores. Listen to honky tonk in the historic saloons. You can't see it all in one day, so spend the night. Virginia City, where the West comes alive. Come up and spend the night in our hotels, motels, and RV parks.
When he was just a young boy, Ken Dillon laid back, looked up at the stars, and thought to himself, hey, this house could use a roof. Today, Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal offers a complete line of Firestone roofing products for any type of roof, from commercial to industrial and residential. With a Firestone roof from D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal, what's overhead stays overhead. Call Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal today for a free estimate. Yes, the technology sure has changed, but after all these years, Ken still enjoys playing with houses.
Feel it, the magic is everywhere. The action, the style, the food, the flair. Play with us, stay with us in Reno, say El Dorado, and live the excitement. El Dorado, Reno shining star, the excitement.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
Dr. Bill Eadington is a world-renowned scholar on the subject of gaming. Everybody listens to what he has to say, and he's produced a study.
Dr. Eadington, thank you so much for being with us. You produced this study as director of the Insitute for Gambling and Commercial Gaming, is that correct?
That is correct.
And it was paid for by the Nevada Resort Association. Now, I was surprised when I read this and learned that gaming, in addition to paying all the other taxes that businesses pay 3 additional taxes: entertainment, lodging, and then, of course, the gambling tax. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And so, in fact, you found that the profit margin for casinos has fallen quite a bit. I think we have a chart that we can show the public that came out of this study. It shows that their profitability in casinos has dropped to under 2%. Is that correct?
That is correct. And what's happened is there's been a sequence of events since the mid-1990s that has put pressure on return on investment and profitability for casinos throughout the state. Among the issues that many of us have watched carefully are the expansions in Las Vegas through the 1990s, and the last round of mega casinos was not as successful as prior rounds. And indeed, the Aladdin went bankrupt 15 months after it opened, which put a dampener on interest in new investment. And so we are not seeing many new properties under development.
Dr. Eadington, can I
Sure.
throw out a couple of names here? Le Rev is going up in Las Vegas, and because of that, the new Frontier Hotel is going to be replaced by the San Francisco themed resort that they plan to do there. Donald Trump plans to build condominiums to go along with that. Caesars in the middle of a major refurbishment. They're opening up a 4,000-seat showroom with Celine Dion and refurbishing the whole property. Mandalay Bay just opened a huge convention center, and they have more land to be able to build on. They have designs on that already. The Venetian is in the process of adding 1,000 rooms with another 3,000 to come. And Stations continues to expand. I understand about $250 million. This doesn't sound to me like these folks are really concerned at this point that their business is going into the dumper.
Well, those are very impressive, certainly from a northern Nevada perspective, where we've seen virtually nil for the last 7 years. From a southern Nevada perspective, those expansions are good, but with the exception of Le Rev, none of them are major mega casinos that are going to attract the attention of potential visitors to Las Vegas. For the most part, they're expansions of existing properties, they're additions of hotel rooms, which certainly will benefit the individual companies, but will probably put downward pressure on room rates across the board. And so they don't necessarily enhance the overall profitability, or for that matter, the expected return on investment in Las Vegas in general.
But when Steve Wynn opened the Mirage, Las Vegas was in the dumper, and they said that he could never bring in, I think it was $1 million a day. He did that. When he opened Bellagio, it was $2 million a day. They said he could never do that. He did that. Le Rev could be the next thing that boosts tourism to Las Vegas. Isn't it the entrepreneur that always ends up bailing out Las Vegas and bringing it up?
Well, can you go back to the well one more time? And the hope is certainly that it will. The expectation is that perhaps it won't. If you look at the other major companies who look at Las Vegas, none of them have announced for major new properties. You mentioned the Frontier, and there have been some other announcements. What they are missing is financing. They're missing the person or the organizations willing to put up $1 to $2 billion in what is perceived as a higher risk environment. The Aladdin, at a cost of roughly $1.2 billion, is now worth perhaps a quarter of that.
But there were the major design flaws at the Aladdin, and I believe that it's Park Place that owns the majority of the bonds in that property, and they could potentially take that over as well to put it into their little triumvirate there of Bally's and Paris and Caesars. That would be a very nice property to have, and if they could fix some of those problems.
They could. The fact that they haven't is perhaps an indication that it's not that easy to just fix up a few things and make it work. The Aladdin is a real challenge, both from design issues, but also it didn't work, and it demonstrated to the marketplace and certainly to Wall Street and potential financial sources that Las Vegas is no slam dunk.
Dr. Eadington, the point of your study was that if the legislature raises gaming taxes too much, it will hurt the industry. And what I'm hearing at the legislature is instead of raising it just 0.25%, but raising it 1 full point. Mm-hmm. Is that going to make somebody go bankrupt? Is that going to send the industry down the drain here in Nevada?
Well, it's hard to say, and the real challenge confronting Nevada right now is we have a massive gap between revenues and expenditures, and we've got to address that one way or another. And going back to the gaming industry again and again as your primary source of taxation is probably unwise, just on fundamental principle. The gaming industry is more challenged now than it was 10 years ago. Northern Nevada's gaming industry is severely challenged. Southern Nevada, profitability is down considerably. Between the time of the opening of the Aladdin in 2000 and Le Rev in 2005, it's about a 5-year period where you don't have any real stimulus to go to Las Vegas for potential visitors. There's nothing really new in Las Vegas to draw that attention.
Professor, I hate to digress here, but the convention business in Las Vegas is huge. They're reporting they've had the busiest March ever with 19 conventions at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Mandalay Bay is doing land office business at their new convention center. I mean, they are changing. They're doing more to bring people in. The speedway races that they had for NASCAR, they maxed out, I think it was 140,000 people. They're putting in 22,000 more seats. Mm-hmm. And their biggest problem is egress and ingress. Maybe they should just have more of NASCAR down there.
Well, I think the issue is to look at the financials, to look at the financial performance in the gaming industry in Las Vegas over the last 10 or 15 or 20 years, and look at the trends. And what we did in our study, basically, was to pull together as much information as we could about the gaming industry, about other sectors in the state of Nevada, and we found some very interesting trends that I think are important for the state. And perhaps the most important of those. The most important is that gaming is no longer the primary source of population growth in the state, but other factors are, which suggests if we have a tax structure dependent totally on gaming, we don't have a way of paying for the new population growth we get in Nevada.
Dr. Bill Eadington, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. One of the world's leading experts on gaming. We'll be right back with Phil Satre after this timeout.
CTX can help you negotiate your best deal. We've been your home team advantage for over a decade. Call us today because at CTX, local service still matters.
Yeah, with CTX, you're homeward bound.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. 7 award-winning dining choices. Experience the Atlantis Seafood Steakhouse tonight. Winner of Wine Spectator's Award of Excellence. The local choice for food and fun, Atlantis. Atlantis! At Sushi Club, everybody's family. That's what makes dining here so much fun. The sushi is consistently better, the atmosphere is great, and the service is wonderful.
Welcome to the Bigger and Better Sushi Club. Come in for our delicious daily specials.
When you're talking sushi, you're talking Sushi Club in the Independence Square Shopping Center.
I could not find a doctor to even tell me that I was pregnant.
I think really what we're seeing is a problem with lawsuit abuse.
The first time in my entire life, I'm losing my hope.
It doesn't take a lot to figure out after a while you'll be driven out of business.
I have 12 to 15,000 patients, and now we're going to have to be looking for a new physician.
Every doctor I called turned me away.
When physicians leave, they're not going to be coming back.
The problem has not been solved.
I don't have anything else to lose. I'm not afraid to speak up.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
One of the most profitable companies in the world as far as gaming goes is Harrah's, and we have its chairman here today, Phil Satre. Welcome, Phil.
Thank you. Nice to be here, Sam.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Ande.
We really want to know about Northern Nevada. Why is Northern Nevada not seeing the kind of casino growth that we're seeing in Las Vegas?
Well, that's been the case for a long time now, really, since the late 1980s when Las Vegas started getting stronger sources of customers from the convention business, from better airline service, and then an influx of new hotels. And I think you have to keep in mind that you can build a casino on about 50 to 60 acres in Las Vegas, and it's tough to find 50 to 60 acres here in Reno. So we're kind of stuck with a smaller lot and block kind of physical location. We don't have the same access either by car year-round or by air that Las Vegas has, and we haven't been able to attract the same amount of capital.
When you first came back to Reno and based yourself here, you made comments to Reno City Council and the RSCVA that Reno needed to run with the big dogs if it wished to go into the future. Have the things that have been done with NewCo, with the convention center downtown, accomplished what you need to go forward?
You know, Sam, I think it's a start. I mean, it's not everything, and certainly there's no perfect formula, I think, for us to look at and say this is exactly what we need to do. But we knew what we needed to do in downtown was to create more year-round, midweek attraction. And the whole idea of the Downtown Special Events Center was to create a place where people would want to come to meet and stay in the downtown hotels and the other hotels and motels in the downtown area, and a place to have weekend and in some cases midweek special events and entertainment. We knew we had to do that because it's hard to build anything of that size on a single property's physical setting.
Okay, I'm going to give you a quick shot here. If you'd like to announce your plans for the plaza, you can do it right here if you'd like.
We don't have any plans for the plaza.
Okay, then in that case, let me ask you about this. According to Dr. Eadington, the casino industry in Nevada is in trouble. Think profits are going down. You're not making as much money. Are you guys in the philanthropic business now? You're just opening up properties to be nice guys? You're not making the money?
No, we're not. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on us from our shareholders and from the banks that supply us with capital for us to keep our returns up. And so any project we're going to look at has to meet the hurdle rate of investment for both the bankers in order to get the money to build and our investors in order to get the money to build. So there's a lot of pressure on the profit margins. And unfortunately, here in northern Nevada, we don't have a good track record in this industry in the last 10 years. It's been a very tough environment for us to get the kind of returns that attract capital. Those same banks that we use to attract that capital are now funding Indian casinos in California, Bank of America and Wells Fargo. That's the business that they're in, but those are very attractive projects for them, and so you can see them directing their capital to that part of the country.
Mr. Satre, the lodging tax that you pay, the room tax, much of that goes back into events to help the casino industry, such as I think some of it's going for the downtown train track and some of it's going for the events center and so forth. You've earmarked certain things. So basically you're reinvesting in your business and paying that tax.
That's correct.
In northern Nevada, they could not afford a 1% hike in the gaming tax. That would do casinos in up here if it went from 6.25 to 7.25?
Oh, I think you would severely endanger some properties in northern Nevada. Harrah's would survive. I mean, I can tell you that. But we're more profitable than some of the other businesses here. But I think we want all of these businesses that are currently here to stay in business if they can. I don't think we're going to see any growth in this industry in northern Nevada. I don't think you're going to see another big casino built here. I don't think it could attract the capital. I don't think people would want to take that risk.
What did people say in 1976 before the MGM was built? Did they say the same thing?
They didn't say the same thing. There was, at that point in time, of course, I was living here in Reno, and we were the only state that had casinos. And as the population was maturing and finding that it had more time to spend in this kind of an environment, that was the heyday of Reno, and for that matter, of Las Vegas. And in 1978, the year in which Bill Harrah died, as you may recall, 5 casinos opened that spring. Only one of those casinos is still open today.
I have a quick follow-up for you here. I find it very interesting and fascinating that Harrah's is both a supporter of Nevada by having casino properties in the state like Tahoe, Reno, 2 in Las Vegas, but you also are involved in Indian gaming in Arizona, in Southern California, and in other jurisdictions around the United States. So you are both our friend, and you are also the perceived threat to Nevada gaming. Is it not something that we should be seeing other Nevada casinos who should be going out into the other jurisdictions and putting in more business so they can funnel traffic backward and forwards as you have done so successfully?
Well, I think it's worked for us, and that was the theory all along, that we could create relationships with customers in North Carolina where we have an Indian casino, or in Kansas, or in Arizona. And Arizona, of course, competes directly with Laughlin. But as a result of our having a relationship with an Indian tribe in Arizona, we've been able to become the strongest performer in Laughlin. And we're proud of that, but what we've done is we've tried to encourage the Arizona customers that we've met through operating that casino there to also visit our Laughlin property. We've seen the same thing in Las Vegas, at Harrah's Las Vegas and at the Rio, as a consequence of the opening of our Southern California casino that we opened up in August.
We have so many more questions for you. Will you come back? We'd appreciate it.
I'd be delighted.
Okay, that would be great. Just so much more to ask. Phil Satre, chairman of Harrah's. And when we come back, the pundits' turn. We have just enough time for that. But let's go. Come on.
Take a break and treat the family to breakfast, lunch, or dinner at Tamarack Junction. Enjoy pasta night on Wednesdays, Mexican on Thursdays, and seafood on Fridays. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amani Ranch Parkway.
When he was just a young boy, Ken Dillon laid back, looked up at the stars, and thought to himself, hey, this house could use a roof. Today, Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal offers a complete line of elk roofing products for any type of residential roof. With an elk roof from D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal, what's overhead stays overhead. Call Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal today for a free estimate. Yes, the technology sure has changed, but after all these years, Ken still enjoys playing with houses.
We've loosened our machines. We've given you the Gold Dust West Gold Rush Club, Reno's best slot club. You can win lots of jackpots. Play longer. Your points will add up faster than you think. Yeah, we're loose, and we're not screwing around. See you at the Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on Fourth.
Folks, you must see what's new in Virginia City. Ride the V&T train all the way to Gold Hill. Explore a mine, if you dare. Visit Piper's Opera House. Watch the gunslingers shoot it up on C Street. Shop in unique stores. Listen to honky tonk in the historic saloons. You can't see it all in one day, so spend the night. Virginia City, where the West comes alive. Come up and spend the night in our hotels, motels, and RV parks.
At Tamarack Junction, you can take advantage of fabulous food around the clock. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, give the oven and yourself a rest. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and DeMonte Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, time for the Pundits section here. We got to get right to it. Ande Barbano with the Sparks Tribune. Howard Rosenberg, longtime entertainment critic on television here, one of the longest serving in the country. 23 years. He started when he was 3. And Jim Denton, political analyst here and consultant. Barbano, what do you make of this? A 2% profit margin here doesn't sound right to me.
It's a pack of lies, Sam. As I've mentioned on the last several days on this show, the casino industry cooked the books in 2000. And I was rather offended at my good friend Greg Ferraro yesterday calling me a liar to that effect. So if Greg was going to do that, he has also called every newspaper in the state a liar that printed Brendan Riley's story from May the 25th, 2000, which stated that the state gaming abstract was delayed by 4 full months while the casinos changed their accounting procedures to put corporate expenses from other jurisdictions against the Nevada books. They understated the profits of the gambling industry by over $400 million, and that $400 million understatement still obtains today, and the $38 million loss they just reported is actually a profit of almost $400 million.
The problem is that if you look at northern Nevada, you don't have to be a fiscal rocket scientist to figure out that no one's making money in northern Nevada. Okay?
Of course
there
they're
are
making
very
money.
few
They're
properties
making
that are making
tons of
money,
money,
in
Jim.
northern Nevada. If you look at, what Phil Satre said, and he's right, if you look at the number of properties that opened in 1978, look at the number of them that are still here.
But doesn't
look
that
at the
apply
number,
to, doesn't that apply in
Sam.
almost every business?
But Sam,
There
look
were lots of little
look
hardware
at, look
stores
at
in
the
Reno in
fact, look at the
1978.
fact.
Find one now.
Look at the fact.
And these guys are all welfare queens.
Look at the fact that call the county assessor, call Bob McGowan,
We're gonna
and
have him on the show.
ask him why it is that they are lowering the property values of gaming properties. But more importantly, ask him why it is that people who are buying these properties are buying them for less than appraised value. Would you sell your house for less than appraised value? Andy, would you sell yours? I wouldn't.
Howard, you live here. Do you think casinos here are as profitable as they used to be?
Let me put it to you this way. I have trashed movies in my life, but I have never been like these two. Ever in my life. And I am hopelessly out of my league here. I honestly do not know. But I do know this. For me, if we had a different kind of entertainment, if we had more big-name entertainment, I think that would help tremendously toward bringing people in. Ham and eggs at 99 cents ain't going to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Howard. I absolutely agree with that statement. The fact of the matter is that we need to have more than blackjack tables, and we need to have more than slot machines. They have those in Indian reservations. They have those on riverboats.
I don't think anybody would disagree with you on that. Las Vegas has created a vision of itself that is spread throughout the nation and is generating visitor counts from places that are new jurisdictions where people say, okay, this is cool doing this at this Indian casino, but I want to go to Vegas now. I think that Northern Nevada has a marketing problem more than anything else.
I agree with that. A lot of people criticized Harrah's and Phil Satre for going into different jurisdiction markets in the 90s. They turned out to be right because their exposure in Nevada today is smaller than any other major gaming property.
But we have another problem, and we've done it before. the era of the big show came in, and everybody had to have a big show. One of the reasons why Harrah's tried to increase the size of their showroom at Harrah's downtown, until they found out that we were sitting on a big aquifer and it's going to flood when they dig. I can't wait to see the trench come into town, because then we can have gondolas going back and forth. That would definitely be a tourist attraction. The thing happening down south now is it's all going to be one big Cirque Soleil show. And I'm wondering just how long that can last. We need differences.
Yeah.
There's got to be choices.
The point that you made, Sam, the point that you asked about all of this construction going on in Las Vegas, remember that a lot of that is retail, a lot of that is rooms. That is not gaming expansion, that's not casino expansion. A lot of that is to protect their investment.
We're losing the point here. They can afford a tax increase.
That's the question.
A substantial tax increase. And another correction from yesterday's Associated Press story about Dr. Eadington. We talk about the gambling casinos here pay 6.25%. They don't. I got the numbers from the Gaming Control Board yesterday. The effective net rate of gaming taxation in Nevada for the fiscal year of 2002 was 6.09%, not even 6.1.
Remember one thing about Northern Nevada. In 20 of the last 24 months, properties up here have lost money.
No, they haven't. Most of them are making money.
I think that you're going to find the higher tax, but I think it's going to be a tear drop.
Absolutely not true.
Gentlemen, we'll be right back.
So who do you believe?
If you're talking sushi, you're talking Sushi Club. Year after year voted the best place for sushi. 11 chefs on staff to serve you. Better ingredients for consistent high quality. And lots of room, so bring your friends. Sushi Club in the Independence Square Shopping Center.
Feel it, the magic is everywhere. The action, the style, the food, the flair. Play with us, stay with us. In Reno, say El Dorado. And live the excitement. El Dorado. Reno, shining star. The excitement.
CTX can help you negotiate your best deal. We've been your home team advantage for over a decade. Call us today, because at CTX, local service still matters.
Yeah, with CTX, you're homeward bound.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, consistently voted Reno's best buffet by locals. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
50 seconds left. Everybody gets 10.
Not only do the casinos pay a tax rate of less than 6.1%, but their profits are outstanding and remain so.
I haven't the foggiest idea of what any of this is about, but if we raise taxes, I want a percentage for higher education.
Right. You know, I agree with Howard. We're going to have to do something to fund higher education in the state, but I've been saying that for 6 months.
McMullen feels the opposite.
Okay, and we'll be back tomorrow on Nevada Newsmakers. Don't miss it.